I learned more about myself and I found my purpose and I found my voice. And so when my son was diagnosed with autism, the first thing I did was say, let me go get armed and dangerous and be his best advocate. And I went back to school to get my MPH. And I said, that's who I am. There's someone who needs help. I'm going to kick in gear. I learned how to advocate for myself through his journey. And that was very important for me to have that voice. So I can be joyous and happy, but I can also be firm and get stuff done.
You know, I've only been financially free for maybe 12 years. And so my journey of being poor was just 12 years ago. So you can't just forget that. Whenever you get something and you're blessed, you're just so thankful and grateful. And I've never put gas in my car without filling. I don't even know how much it costs to fill it up. I just fill it and go. And when I get in the car, I just go, my God. To this day, I still do it. Because when you've been broke for so long in your life and trying to make it, that when you do make it, it's very rare that you're going to forget where you came from. Very rare.
Hello there, and welcome to Skyman and the Bug. I'm the Bug, and that is
the Skyman.
We are here to build relationships, technology, and work on the many wonders of being a business owner and a nutcase. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to you listening to us, laughing with us, and taking the journey with us as we build businesses and relationships. Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to another audacious, and I say audacious, you'll find out real soon, episode of Skyman and the Bug. My name is Roach, and of course, I am the Bug, and my partner in crime and slightly
is Josh Schuminsky.
See,
Josh
jumping
Schuminsky, the
over me
Skyman
already. Skyman, and welcome to our episode. We talk about everything from tech, leadership, collaboration. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but it's going to go a little bit more in relationship, because that's one of the premises. How do we build relationship in the marketplace, in our homes, and whatever we do, and how to make those relationships stronger in some challenging times, which some of you know. And I have none other than two super CEOs. I have Tomeka Holyfield and I have Tanesha Boldin. I was going to say Baldwin because I was like, hold on. I know you're not related to the Baldwins, but you know, maybe you are. Maybe you're right. So welcome to the program and welcome to our adventure today.
Thank you for having us.
Tomeka, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about you, kind of, which makes you awesome, what problems you solve in the marketplace. Go.
Well, I basically solved turning a vision into a reality. You know, I didn't know what it was 20 years ago, strategic branding. We didn't know any of those words back then. And I knew that I wanted to help individuals who had a thought in that infrastructure stage. And so we began to brand. And we started by branding an entity that I had that a sponsor pulled out. So I was forced to brand it. And there lie the beginning of my company in 2006. And so after I branded it in the marketplace, then people came calling, could you brand my thought or my idea? And we just take whatever you have and we strategically brand it. We produce it. We set the narrative and we just make you look like, you are a 5-star company. And so that's what we do. That's it in a nutshell. We've produced these big events during NBA, 20 years with the NBA, 5 years with the Oscars, Grammys. And so I take that same concept for my corporate clients and we make them stand out in the marketplace. We know there's so much out there. So we try to do something that's different. We draw outside the lines. And we do a lot of collaboration. And that's how we got here 20 years later.
Fantastic. And we're going to go granular into some of what you talked about just now. So, Tanesha, you're on the back.
Yes, my name is Tanesha Boldin. I am actually a serialpreneur having multiple companies, starting with my I work backwards just because the title says founder of Doc Hire. So Doc Hire is actually a spinoff, an AI global healthcare staffing spinoff of my government contracting company, Critical Access Network, both of them supplying healthcare workers where they're needed when they need it. The federal side, the Critical Access Network side, has been in business almost 10 years now, successfully winning some of the top awards and contracts recently. And the global piece, Doc Hire, actually is an NVIDIA Inception partner, Amazon Web Service partner after being in business for a very, very short time. And it has allowed me to really tap into what's important to me, and that is giving people access to health care where they need it. I have a young son who is on the autism spectrum, and so I walk this walk every single day, having to navigate healthcare providers who are or not there or available, or sometimes the waits are 9 months to 2 years for some of these resources. So I set out on a mission to improve access to healthcare and making his world a little brighter. And so I do that by making everyone else's world a little brighter. And so I get to meet incredible people like Tomeka, who joins me on this journey, who is an advocate also for autism, and other women. She's very passionate, and you'll see that today.
Fantastic.
Well, welcome.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for having us.
You are welcome. So I now want to connect you two together and tell the journey that landed you two in the room. And then we're gonna go granular on your superpower. And I'm gonna ask you an off the cuff question. Don't worry, it's not inappropriate. But although the temptation is there after hanging out with Tanesha for way too long. But talk to me how your synergy came together. How did you two meet? And you can play off each other, and what do you like or you admire most about each other within your specific specialities, but also how you cross over to each other? Any one of you can take it from
So
there.
I definitely want to start because I love this story. So Tanesha and I met, we were a part of a peer group. It's called WPO, Women's President Organization. This is an organization where it's all women CEOs, and you have to be in the revenue from 2 million to 2 billion to even qualify for this. And so you can imagine being a part of something like this and having her be part of the same organization, and we're in the same chapter, Atlanta chapter 3. Your guards are down because everybody's been vetted, and so everybody is running in this circle, and you know that these women have worked really hard to get to these revenues. So that's how we met. Tanesha stood out. We had about 14 members in our chapter. We have 2,000 worldwide. We're in 10 countries. We're all over. But Tanesha stood out to me because she started inviting me to these particular events. Now, anybody knows me know that I'm very strategic. At this point, I only go where how is this going to help? How is this going to empower? How is this going to partnership? I'm really not into the bells and whistles and just want to go somewhere to go somewhere. I want to go somewhere, and what is this going to then do for something or somebody else? And so she invited me to this event, and I was very impressed because Tanesha, she has it down about who to partner with, what events to go. Tanesha was beyond her mind. Like, she would partner, become a sponsor at this event. So I would be at this big, huge event with all these people and then see Tanesha's name on the board. And we're sitting at a table that she sponsored. And so she was putting us and aligning us with people she wanted us to do business with. And I love that about her. I admired that about her. And while we were in the same organization and other people invited me to stuff, I would say no. But every time this lady invited me to something, I was saying yes, because the ROI, the return on the investment, or my time, was so powerful. It was going to something philanthropic, which was great. Her son has autism, and so she is 100% sold out. So I love that every time we went somewhere, it was for a cause. And then I like the group of people. And you tell me who you surround yourself with, and I'll show you your future. And so those are the things. And then she has this infectious laughter and smile. She's always happy. I was here at the event, and she's from table to table talking with everybody. And she just had a good spirit, and she had a good cause. And I just thought she was a bad businesswoman. And so that's what attracted me to Tanesha and how she does business. That's how we got together.
So
Well,
it's
I'll
safe to
just
say,
add to that. Let me add to that and just say that we did get together in those meetings, but what drew me to Tomeka was at the very first meeting, I saw her cheering for other women. She cheered for everyone as we went around the table. And that has been something that, as a woman and as an entrepreneur CEO, as you start to rise, the cheering can stop. The cheering is
Man.
less. And so to see someone so authentic, cheering for every single person. I used to be a cheerleader. It resonated with me. I wanted to get up and toss the pom-poms. And so I am that person. I love cheering for people. I love investing and pouring into people. And I saw that she did that so effortlessly. But then I said, who's pouring into her? who's
Mm,
cheering for her because she is so accustomed to doing that for everyone else. And so if I could be a vehicle to helping her in any way, absolutely, because I know how lonely it can be when you're constantly pouring into others. And you do want someone to recognize, hey, I might need pouring into also.
mm,
And so I think we see that in each other. We're able to do that for each other without question.
mm.
So, Tamika, is it safe to say that Tanisha influenced you with her personality and does allow you to be freer as a CEO?
Yeah, she made me laugh, took me out of my comfort zone. For instance, Josh, we would go somewhere and I'm very quiet and laid back at times. And so all these celebrities would know me. And so she would just be thrown off like, wait, you didn't say you knew this person or this person. I said, well, no, I just don't talk about what I know. She said, but you don't go anywhere. I said, but now you have me out. And so now she put me back out there to laugh again, to connect again with all these people I knew. And she just made me smile again. And at this level, and you get to hear, you're not smiling a lot because you just have to be so organized and so on it and follow a regimen. You know, you have team members, staffing, projects. I mean, it takes over. We're not in this organization and doing this revenue just because. I mean, you have to work for that. So her smile, it was her smile, Josh. Every time we went somewhere, she was laughing and talking. And that's what the world needs. We need more laughter, right?
I think I wanted to borrow behind that, Josh. I think that Tanisha said it earlier. It's that when you go higher up in a level, you have to be. In your case, Tamika, you're very strategic. You have to be very focused. You have to present. You have to look all that. But to be able to have someone pour into you without trying to take something from you, because
Correct.
as you go up, people tend to want to take something from you, and that's a little different than when somebody wants to pour into you. And that's unique, especially as you move up into this environment.
Yeah, it was different. She was giving and not asking. Usually somebody will call me or want to use my last name to get something free. And she was giving. She was bringing me, we're courtside tickets. I'm like, Tanisha, she said, oh, well, my company owns this because this is how we do business. And so she was putting me really, what she did is put me back out there with all my comrades that I had just pulled away from, right? You know, when you've been out here for so long, you've seen it. You know, I've been through the whole thing. I've been through my uncle Evander Holyfield when he was the heavyweight champion of the world. And then I've been through when he lost his home to Rick Ross. So I have been to A to Z. And so I have landed in between to know what really means something, what's the responsibility of who you are, how do you build for 10 and 20 years down the line, and that the world is just not about lights, camera, and action. So I have become reclusive, if that makes any sense. I didn't need the bells and whistles. And then she brought me back out there with the bells and whistles. So it was nice. She would bring me, and then I would introduce her to all these people. And it was great to see her and to see how she was able to maneuver her way through. It's just been a great partnership.
I think it sounds like it is. It sounds like each one of you helps each other. Each one of you builds each other up. It's not a I need this. Can you help me? And that's
Correct.
that's all part of business. We get that in relationship, but it's really more of how can I help you wherever you are. It's not a matter of can you give me something. And I think
Right.
that is unique, especially when you're CEOs and
Yeah.
being in that role, people tend to want your time, they want your money, they want your involvement, they want you on X number of boards, all this other stuff. But it's like, no, I don't want you any of that. I
Right.
want to help you as a person to kind of feel good about yourself and what you do. So in that same vein, you now have to tell me, both of you. So this is the odd question.
I have another one, but when you're ready.
The odd question is if you have a superpower and you have a character that you let's just say it's comic books, DC or Marvel. Which one do you identify with and which one showcases your power in what you do within the marketplace, what you do in your home and your mission? Any one of you can take that one.
Tanisha's gonna go first.
You see that look on my face? I'm sitting here trying to confirm if Diana Ross is in either one of those. And I'm like, wait,
She is
she's
now
not.
apparently.
So,
I mean, I'm sure I watch that and I'm thinking of Aquaman somewhere in there, but I'm like, is there Aqua Girl? I don't even swim, so that's not
There
good.
is, there
So
is, there is.
okay, okay. So I'm just gonna say this. When I grew up, it wasn't, DC Marvel or whatever. The gray hair should tell you a little bit how old I am. But nonetheless, gray hair. So when I was younger, I always thought I'm going to be Diana Ross 2.0. That was my goal in
Mm.
life. I wanted to be Diana Ross. She moved people with her voice and her songs, and she was able to transcend, years and seasons. Her fashion was always great. Her hair was always, she just showed up. She showed up even when she wasn't showing up. Her presence was felt. And I said, as a child, the impact, I remember when I got my Diana Ross doll, and I'm like, she is still in pristine condition because I respected what she meant to me. And I hope that I am emulating some of those things that were so important to me when I first saw her. And to this day, I still sing I'm Coming Out. Every mix version, everything.
I want the world to know.
That was but Bug, you were supposed to cue the music right there. I think you missed that. But I sing that song. I hear it. It's everywhere, everything. Post-it notes. I don't like post-it notes, but the ones that I have, little quotes. But I'm always thinking, how do I come? How do I show up? How am I coming out? How am I showing up for my son? How am I showing up for my sisters? I consider Tomeka a sister because she continues to step outside of our business relationship to a sisterhood and even supporting my son and just the family. And so I try to show up also for her. She and her mother have a very close relationship, and I just love how they play off of each other. It's actually very comical. You have to hear it, but they do.
I hear that shaking head like, oh my God, please don't say that
It
right now.
brings me joy to see it. They do deserve their own sitcom, reality show. I come from a very I come from
I
a
don't think she
very
agrees.
yes, I know, I'm joking. But my father is a minister, so our household and, I grew up a different way, and I'm from the South as well, and, I had 9 aunts and, on my mother's side, and so I was always around very strong women, and so I think I sometimes actually shied away from being Tanesha. So this Tanesha that shows up for you today, that shows up for everyone else, that's smiling, that's happy, I have joy that I won't let anyone take that from me. So we could be talking about how to plant dirt, and I'm going to find something joyous in that because I really believe that there is something that I should be looking for all the time. I'm sitting here looking at something on my wall in my office and it says, choose to see the good. Today is a great day to be happy. Like, those are the things that I feed myself. So that
Yeah.
comes out when I'm interacting. And so Diana Ross has represented that for me. Sorry, Marvel. I mean, I watched the shows, Aquaman, I'm all over it. There we go. Tomeka.
I
Your,
love it.
your your superhero is Diana Ross. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Go ahead.
Well, I'm definitely
Superhero.
Wonder Woman.
Superhero.
I'm definitely
Okay.
Wonder Woman.
Go
I
for it. Tell
mean,
me why.
since I was little, Wonder Woman, doom, 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 doom. I just thought I was like, I gotta grow up if I can just do my arm like this and make things happen. So I'm definitely Wonder Woman because she's strong. She always was a lady. I like that. Although she was strong and she was athletic, I'm very feminine. She always had her hair done and nothing out of place, lipstick on, but yet a strong woman, and I represent that. I'm not for the it's a group of women. We don't need a man. I don't need this. No, I'm still old school. The man is still the head of the house. And at the same time, I'm saying that as a CEO, right? So you can still be a strong woman and be feminine. And I still have all those old school ways, domesticated, all of that in Wonder Woman. I actually grew up wanting to be her. And it through my entire work journey, I just thought about that. I'm strong. My mother is like that. She is crazy. We would have the number one reality show because my mom is just she's 76 and you can't tell her anything. She does what she wants when she wants. And there's a side of that that I admire, and there's a side of that that I want to stay far away from at the same time, simultaneously.
I can
Yes, my mother is a lot, and she's a lot for me to handle. But when I think about it, I get my strength from her, I get my tenacity. Just, I like to stay away because she comes and I'm like, where did you come from? Who are you? So yeah, we have and I always tell people most powerful women come from powerful women. I have had the niche of still being a lady. And I think we're missing a lot of that now in this 2026. See, I see a lot of ladies out there. I'm strong, I'm this, and I don't need, no, God made this all like this for a purpose. And I think a man has things that only a man can do. And then we have things that only I can do. And that's where I get the gentleness and the compassion, even in business, because that's just part of my morals.
Let me
Making
just
sense.
put in
Josh?
a little play right here and say this. Thank you, Tomeka, for saying that the man is needed. I'm going to also plug that I am single and a man is needed.
She's like, we gonna get real right quick. So any of you candidates, possible candidates, submit application here. Okay.
Okay. On that note,
Josh, go ahead. I know you've been sitting on it. Go ahead.
on that note, I want to hear the story and both points of view about the time that you two have just gone on the ground laughing hysterically because of you know, something. I want to hear both points of view, how it happened, and 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 how bad was it?
Let me
So,
tell you, nope, nope, nope,
okay.
no.
Ooh, the dirt is coming out.
I can't even get it. we, we like to eat. And we were recently at an event and Tomeka didn't eat all day. And when she got to the place where we were eating, she started with plates and it was piled up high.
Okay, let me preference.
She said, don't laugh at,
Let me
don't
preference.
laugh at me.
We
Even
were
breathe.
we were guests of Arthur Blank in the Arthur Blank suite on the opening night of United. Okay. So I have been in the suite before as a guest of Tanesha. So I said, they have such high level food, so much I am not going to eat all day because I'm going to wait to eat in the suite. So Tanesha picked me up early because we have field passes where you could go on the field. So Tanesha does not pick me up early. She picks me up late. So we missed the field. By this time, I'm starving. I said, when I got in her car, I said, I don't want to embarrass you, but soon as we walk in the suite, I'm going straight to the food. Now, when you get in this suite, you have to go through all this stuff. And I was just trying to get through all the security and I went straight to the food. And I want you guys to know when I sat down, the plate was like this. Everybody was in the suite looking at me. They had ribs that was this big. Then I did something I've never done. We're leaving. And I go, what are they going to do with all of that food? So I asked the maitre d', could you go get me some plastic bags?
Because I'm about to take it with me.
So we're walking through with her zip bag of ribs.
Spoken like someone who's lived in the South. Okay.
Okay, listen, the bug. Should I have left all that there?
You should not ask me. My family's Caribbean, so they would never leave anything behind.
Now,
Oh,
Josh,
I can attest to that with his wife.
really? Okay.
My
Yeah,
wife is
that's
Caribbean, and my
so
mother
you
is
understand. You guys,
100%.
Tanesha laughed so hard she could not stop laughing. She was embarrassed all at one time. And I said, I'm so sorry. This is no indication on Tanesha. This is just Tomeka Holyfield taking this food out of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Was Tanisha on the floor laughing at that time?
Yes, her stomach. She was grabbing her stomach. She was embarrassed.
I can imagine the pain.
You
Had
have
to
to
see
understand,
her.
they're so detailed on this suite that when you walk in, you have to check off, and they have Tanesha's name. Where we sit, Tanesha Bolton, and then it says Tanesha's guest. Tanesha's guest. Everything is thought out. Even the photographer knows who you are, it's just very. And here I am walking out with plastic bags of ribs.
And so that's a moment
Look,
when somebody
now we're
captures
not
you.
getting it back.
Just imagining that showing up on a magazine cover and like, this is what she got. Okay, keep it moving.
Yeah, we've had some good times. Yeah, we've had some great times. One time, Tanesha was a sponsor at this real big gala. I forgot the name of it. It's at the Intercontinental. I don't want to say tables were 50 grand each. And I was like, oh, I'm so proud of her. And all these people was there. And we were in these long formals. And then I look around and Tanesha's in jeans and a t-shirt in front of everybody. And I said, Tanesha, what are you doing? Well, I got me a room. Oh, no, it was at the Ritz. It was at the St. Regis.
St. Regis.
She said, I got me a room and I just thought, I'm tired of this gown. And so I went upstairs and put on jeans and a t-shirt. She was at the after party in jeans and a t-shirt and everybody's in a formal. She did not stop a beat. She did not stop her personality. And I thought, who is this masked woman? I love her.
So everybody's there informally, and she's like, you know what? I'm getting comfortable.
She said
I'm
she
gonna
was
get comfortable.
finished. I said, Tanesha, you're finished. She said, oh, I'm finished. And she was
Yeah.
in a t-shirt and some jeans.
All she needed was the ribs.
Yes.
And it would have
They
been
had good
real.
food there too. They had some
Yeah.
sliders, and I remember the sliders specifically because I asked for some without cheese, and I think they had a bread pudding. Yeah, so I do look at food.
You
You know, I'm
gotta
from
have
the
fun
South.
and you gotta
Right.
laugh
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
tomorrow is not promised. And at some point, you just have to laugh. You have to learn how to work and play at the same time. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? You have
It
to
makes
learn
sense.
how to, when you're going to these places, how do I make the best of it? How do I just have memories? That's all we have is, I don't spend my money on objects like clothes or purses. I spend my money on travel experiences and memories because that's all you have at the end of the day is memories. I mean, when you talk to anybody on their deathbed or a sickness, they'll tell you, I just wish I had more time to be with friends and family. And at the same time, Tanisha and I have to be shrewd businesswomen because we have to keep up, our empires, but we still have to collect memories. And so it's real sad when you find any CEO that all they have is work and no memories. That's not a balanced life.
So
That is
I have another question for both of you. We'll do Tomeka first and then
Okay.
Tanesha. A word to describe each other.
Joyful. She's always joyful, always laughing. You always see all her teeth. Even when someone is bothering her or they've done her right, she'll laugh and you just see those teeth. So even when something is going wrong, you don't really know because she's laughing it off. Just joyful. She's joyful.
Tanesha.
Formidable. She knows what she wants. She will compromise if it's worth compromising, and she will be relentless in being the perfectionist that she is as a Virgo, but she is just focused on the outcome, focused on the journey, focused on making things happen, and will move mountains, just very formidable, moving mountains. I think about her brother, her young brother, and how she has somewhat become the second mom to him and how she stops everything for him. But that's who she is, and she does that for other people. So even though there's this side of her that is, Tomeka's coming in and she's got them boxing gloves on, so you better be ready, gloved up. But then there's this softer side of her that will bring food for an entire floor at a hospital where her brother is, just to show her gratitude, an ounce of her gratitude for what they've done for her brother. This is the duality of Tomeka, but just very formidable to her core and not afraid to walk out of a place like a suite with ribs in a plastic bag.
So okay, as I try to compose myself so that I won't laugh too hard, since we're talking about gloves or fighting and stuff like that, just in the abstract, what was one fight challenge that you had that you feel exceptionally proud that you overcame, that it was a mean slam down, I had to get weird on these people, I had to go to the streets on them, but at the end of the day, this is where I got to the other side. So if it's IP or something like that, and you don't want to, if people shall remain nameless, we can leave it there. Go, any one of you can take that question.
I think being judged as a woman CEO and people not taking you seriously is just the gift of life. Everything I do is in a male dominated. I mean, think about it. I've been producing this event in the NBA for 19 years, all male dominated. No one 19 years ago was producing an event. And then it's all male dominated Caucasian. So people go, well, Miss Holyfield, you're not making sense. We see all these little black guys on the floor. That's at the lowest bottom of the NBA. Who's on the floor? And you have general
Really?
manager, you have owners, so I'm talking about the levels up, right? And so I had to break through and had to get them to understand and respect me in my role as a woman. So that was one. And then when I came to get my corporate headquarters here in Buckhead, it was a lot against me. I didn't have any corporate experience, rental experience. I built my company out of my house. Georgia kicked me out of my house because I had 4 companies registered to 1 residence, which is illegal. But, you know, I was broke for so long and building up. I really started at the bottom. And so I worked my way up and counted the costs. I didn't want to just go have a facade just to say I have an office. I really wanted to have my numbers right, that I can afford my household and then a corporation, a headquarters. And so when I finally got here, it was so much against me to getting one. I remember I thought I was going to get this one by Georgia Tech because I wanted to get the interns from Georgia Tech. And I went for this office space, and finally they said, they're not going to give it to you because you're Black and you're a woman. You're just not going to get this space. I mean, they really told me that. And I said, okay. That space is still vacant to this day. I just thought I would say that 4 years later. And so my biggest obstacle was getting in this headquarter in Buckhead. And I'm glad I fought because my company just went by boundaries 20%, 30%. And so that was a good one. And, you know, I come from a place that I used to just be able to put $5 in my car until I can get to the next opportunity, or $10. To this day, still, when I fill up my car, I get emotional. Like to this day, I still fill up my car and I get emotional because I remember where I came from. And it's, you know, when people look at me and see success, I always want to tell them the backstory. I went without a car for so long because I was putting money back into the company and back into the company. And now people stop me because of my car, what I drive. And I don't want them to look at that. I always want to tell a backstory. So anytime somebody compliment me, I'm going to say something and give them a little nugget to show them it's more than just this car. It's about what it takes to get it, because I want to give everybody hope that no matter where you are and what you're going through, there's hope. You can still repivot. And I don't care how old you are or how young you are. If you can think it, you can believe it, you can achieve it. And so those are some of the obstacles, but I just looked at them as obstacles. I was willing, remember, I thought I was Wonder Woman. I was willing to do whatever it took. And to this day, I spend most of my time talking and motivating people. You really can't say anything, any type of compliment to me without me telling you a story, because I don't want you to see any bells and whistles. I want you to see triumphs and tribulations and how I survived, because I think that's more beneficial to somebody. That's why I hate this new generation on IG when they're seeing people in cars and going to a private airline. I'm not going to a private airline. Why are you all making people think this is the only way to live, or you can succeed by becoming an athlete or a rapper? That's 10%, that's 2%. Where's the other 98%? And so I'm real big on storytelling and making people believe that you can achieve. Let's get past wanting to be an athlete or a rapper. Tell me some of your things. Tell me what you like. And so I want to steer people in other directions so that they can become financially free. And I understand because, you know, I've only been financially free for maybe 12 years. And so my journey of being poor was just 12 years ago. So you can't just forget that. And so whenever you get something and you're blessed, you're just so thankful and grateful. And I have never put gas in my car without filling. I don't even know how much it costs to fill it up. I just fill it and go. And when I get in the car, I just go, my God. To this day, I still do it. Because when you've been broke for so long in your life and trying to make it, that when you do make it, it's very rare that you're going to forget where you came from. Very rare.
So I got
Yes.
one last question that I'm going to ask.
I want to let Tanesha, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Tanesha, you can answer
Yes.
that question because it's your time now.
Yes. So I smile, I'm joyous, and I'm happy. But I'm also from the South, and I might have said I was raised around very strong aunts. So people take that as they can get over on me. There is another side of me that is all business, very firm. Yes, bug, that look right there. And it's not out of
Well, I know
character.
this. I know this.
Right. But I am very strong. I am a single mom. I've raised 3 kids, put, one through college, help growing this business, growing another business, taking a leap of faith. And that's really my journey. People underestimate me because I smile, because I am happy. They underestimate me and they think they can take advantage of me. And so that used to upset me. And then I said, I'm going to use it to my advantage, because you think that I'm weak. You think that I'm not seeing what you're trying to do. No, while you're over here wasting your time, I'm going to be over here making things happen. And so I don't make excuses, but I'm very clear when people, you see how the smile left, the hands came up.
Yeah.
That's her coming out, y'all. And I'm not afraid to say y'all. I used to be so poised. Let me not say y'all. I'm from the South. Y'all is a word.
Y'all is
It
a
And
sure
word.
so
is.
right? And so I am very clear. I remember a specific instance, and I'll be brief, when I worked in the financial institution. And I remember training someone who ultimately said I wasn't playing nice in the sandbox. I'm like, there's a sandbox? Wait, I didn't get the memo. And I remember looking and, at people saying, you weren't supposed to be in that room, in that space, Tanesha. And I said, wow, you know, at some point, I started believing them and it started
Mhm.
tearing apart the person that I knew was inside. And when I left that organization, I'm telling you, it was a great, cushy 6-figure salary on a top floor in a building. But when I left that organization and went and served in Haiti, digging, a foundation for our chef at the time, I learned more about myself and I found my purpose and I found my voice. And so when my son was diagnosed with autism, the first thing I did was say, let me go get armed and dangerous and be his best advocate. And I went back to school to get my MPH. And I said, that's who I am. There's someone who needs help. I'm going to kick in gear. I learned how to advocate for myself through his journey. And that was very
Yeah.
important for me to voice. So I can be joyous and happy, but I can also be firm and get stuff done. And right down the middle is a little mix of both of her. But
Craziness.
as we say in the South, don't get it twisted.
Don't
Okay.
Don't
get
get
it
it
The
twisted.
twisted.
smile is one
Don't get
thing,
it twisted.
but I am gloved up. They might be suede gloves, they might be satin gloves, but I am gloved up and ready.
Love that.
I love that.
So
Exactly, Josh.
I got a question that could wrap all this up in a bow. I think. So in your Velma and Louise moment, which one of you is driving?
Me. Me. I'm driving.
Tamika's going to
Why?
drive, but I'm going to navigate. How about that?
That's
So
good.
do you guys head off the cliff, or you know?
Oh, heck no, we done made a detour. We going to get something to eat. Did you not hear
Yeah.
us? We're not going off a deep end. There are no deep ends in this story. It is
The story
pivoting,
has no deep end.
going in this road, this direction. We might even have a life jacket on and decide to go rafting, but we're going to pivot and we're
Yes.
going to keep it going.
We're
We're
going
not
to
just going
assess
to,
the situation and survive.
So why are you driving? There has to be a story behind this.
Well, I'm driving just because I'm the protocol person. I'm going to drive. I know I'm going to stay on, but she's going to navigate and I'm going to drive. I'm going to have the wheel. Because Tanesha will just go, ah, it looks nice over here and we're off the cliff.
It's like it's off the cliff. As long as you have a parachute, I have no problem going off the cliff. Go for it.
I
So
might get a
I
little
want
distracted if I see, oh, that's a pretty bird. This, and I'm
Yeah.
word. But if
Yes.
someone else is driving, I can look around and I can, look at the landscape and I can say, okay, this looks good. Make that informed decision to pivot this way versus when I'm driving, I might just start veering off.
So I wanted to ask a question, and this goes back into your individual companies and organizations. And both of you are, ex CEOs of many companies in different operations. I heard 4 in 1. Like, hey, you can't do that in Georgia. Apparently, I didn't know
No,
that.
you
I'm not from
cannot.
Georgia. I did
Not
not
in a
know that was a
residence.
thing. I didn't know that was a thing. And then Tanesha says, I have done a lot of different leadership roles within those, and each one of you can pair. Tell us about those companies and what you do in the marketplace so that if a listener is trying to connect with you, because we've gone backstory, we talked about childhood, South, food, and a couple of different ways which we love because that's all about relationship building. But a buyer is looking to buy your product or service in the marketplace or for whatever reason. Tell us that part of you as an individual leader. Who wants to go
Tanesha.
first?
Tanesha,
She's just getting more time to get her thoughts together. Let me just tell you. See, look,
She said
I
I'm a
already know that's
driver.
the
She
worst.
said I'm a
well,
driver.
That's how she got me with that
well,
Marvel
the reason
stuff
I
because I was
said
like,
it because
and then she came up with
Tanesha
Wonder
has
Woman.
more. Tanesha has more for the marketplace for the mass, whereas I'm a specialty, right? So Tanesha has more. She does staffing for the medical staffing. She does. Yeah, I'm more of a specialty, and I'll tell you why. So she has more for the masses.
Go ahead.
Okay. So My company, Doc Hire, is a global, like I said, global AI healthcare infrastructure disruptor. There are a lot of organizations who are creating AI, as I call them, transactional tools and resources, but they are not looking at the big picture. My company is grounded in public health solutions. And because of that, it is about the infrastructure. It's about touching different layers. And so we create not only healthcare staffing opportunities, which is really the nucleus, we build the layers around that with different pillars: women's health, mental health, sports health. And the sports health piece is really where we're seeing the most opportunity for a ministry of health, an organization to come. Let's, as an example, use case in Africa, and I'll just use Nigeria for an example. They have a very established city area, but the outskirts where the highest number and incidences of non-communicable diseases are, they need resources. But the infrastructure, the literal infrastructure of what type of healthcare resources can get to them is very limited. And then on the other side, people are not motivated to go to a medical facility. So I said, let's bridge that gap, and I'll bring the soccer clinics, soccer health clinics to them through mobile units, through resources, and we'll use AI across all of the phases. And so we actually just signed an MOU with the West African Football Union, as well as ABC Health in Nigeria. And we are going to strategically identify locations for our soccer health clinics. And that data, that health data, which is going to drive medical intelligence for not only a government, but also for pharma and also for partners. So it really is an ecosystem that we built through Doc Hire.
Impressive. You see why I said, I mean, that is so impressive.
And I saw you slided a little bit of that FIFA kind of in there a little bit, just kind of, yeah, I heard that.
You see why we made her the chair of this World Legacy and Leadership Global Luncheon? So basically, we just do branding. We do strategic branding. We do whatever your thought is. And so many people have ideas and so many people want to build companies. But if you don't have a strategic branding behind it, you're going to fall by the wayside. And so that's what we do. We do your strategic branding. We have corporate clients. And then we have platforms. I have 8 platforms through the year that keeps us busy. And we create these platforms: NBA All-Star, the Oscars, the Grammys, MLB, MSB. I mean, we just started WNBA. She's Got Now luncheon, not tomorrow, not next. And so we highlight these ladies who are getting the bag, who are getting the sponsorships, who are becoming ambassadors. And so what we like to do is portray people on the business side. I like to break down the stereotypes. I don't want to know that you're an NBA player. I don't want to know that you're an actor. Or what are you doing off the field, off the court? What are you doing to make a difference business wise? And so we highlight those. So like for the ladies, I want to highlight, how did you strategically get this partnership? Like $1 billion is going to run through WNBA. I want to talk to these girls, to Caitlin and everybody, so that they can motivate the average person. I'm always thinking about, who is the average person watching who just want hope? And so they don't have the skills to be an athlete or whatever, but they have a mind and they have thoughts. And so that's what we do. We're storytellers, and we like to brand and help build whatever your story is. We want to help you tell it.
Very cool.
So powerful. I want to end because I know Joshua was in, but I want to end with, there's a little person out there, male or female, but you can pick whatever gender you want to. And I say little person because someone is looking at you, but they're younger than you. They're in elementary school, high school, somewhere in that area. If you could get a couple of moments with them, what would you try to imbue into them to understand what you do so that they can? Because we know that if we see something and we see somebody doing it, we're like, well, I can do that. And then they take it to the next level. That's what they're supposed to do. But you're looking at anybody, no matter where they are. They could be an athlete's daughter or a son, or they can be somebody you met at the grocery store. It doesn't really matter. What would you do if you had them and said, this is why you should listen to me?
I don't care who you are and what situation you're in. I don't care how your environment is, where you live in. I don't care if you have a mother in the house or you don't. I don't care if your father walked away and he didn't. I don't care if you've been on drugs. I don't care if your sisters and brothers have been on drugs. You can be a second chancer. I'm a second chance. God will give you a second chance to get it right. to do it again, to try again. And if you think of something in your mind, just know you can do it. I don't care your circumstances. I don't care your atmosphere. And I don't care what type of money you don't have or what type of money you have. If you believe in yourself, then nothing is off limit to you. I am a witness that I had nobody to tell me how to run a business, nobody to tell me, but I had determination. And I just don't care what you're going through. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care who you are. God will give you a second chance to get it right, to do it again, to try again. And if you don't quit, favor is in the again. Send the email again. Do it again. Call again. Ask again. Try again. Because if you keep doing the agains, there lie your success. Just don't quit.
Mm.
I love it. I
Tanesha?
love it. Like Bug, when you couldn't get the technical stuff together, it's like, keep going, keep going. We know you can
Yes,
get
that
it.
was good,
I think I
Tanisha.
can. I think I can.
Oh, you just brought it real. You brought it real.
It's like he just felt that. So I would say this. My son being 12 years old, at 10 years old, I taught him how to use AI, and he was having trouble understanding context with words. And I'm constantly looking for tools and resources to help and support him and help him navigate life. And in doing so, I'm also helping myself. So when I taught him how to use AI to help him understand context of what he was reading, I took it a step further and said, let's create a series of books. And so right now he has 4 books out on Amazon. It's the Leo series, Sebastian Bolden. And so this character is about a little boy who draws. My son has incredible artistic skills. He draws hedgehogs to help him navigate circumstances in the world. And I know she's going to get the book.
I figured
And
that.
so
Very
I
yeah,
love
nice.
it.
Leo
I love it. I
Friends,
love
that was
it.
his first book. And so he's a published author now. And so I'm using that as an example to say, we have tools and resources in front of us. And through AI, many of those opportunities and ideas and thoughts that we have can be played out and maximized, realized through AI. And I say that because 2 weeks ago, I taught myself how to build, train, and make sure they're working 23 AI agents for my autonomous agentic AI agents, which means they do things without a prompt. They do things without the human touch. They automate things for me. I taught myself how to build one, and I looked at my website for Critical Access Network and I said, how do I maximize this? And so out came this, you should have these AI agents. And so I looked around and there was no one there but me. It's often just me. And I started building these agents. And now I have 23 of them. And I wake up every morning to reports, analytics, and dashboards that the agents have created. We're saving time and resources. So to speak to someone younger, I think about my son and his voice and his demographic, the neurodiverse, and how we can tap into their peak skills. And so I would tell, neurodiverse kids, neurodiverse parents, caregivers, that AI can be a voice and an opportunity for your loved ones. And if we are not being a part of trends, tools, resources, then we are going to be left behind. And AI is definitely the resource, the tool, the platform that will change people's lives overnight, that will put a
Yes.
10-year-old on Amazon with 4 books.
That is powerful.
Very
Well,
powerful.
I have enjoyed this conversation. As Tanesha was saying, we could go on for hours because
Yeah.
we've only started. We tried. And by the way, you are the longest episode we have ever had.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, we like
You went to
breaking
about
records.
30
We're
minutes.
We're record breakers.
You are record break. You are the longest show we've ever done.
By far.
By far. I mean, like way back. Okay. Because
told
there
you.
is so much that we could go into. Josh and I have a hard stop because we're doing another meeting. So I want to thank you. I feel honored. I feel privileged for you to take your time
Thank you.
to be able to pour life into our listeners, into Josh and myself, and with the jokes, but all the seriousness, but also being able to say, hey, I stand for something, and I will stand the line for somebody who needs
Well, listen,
me.
you're not going to get off before we say thank you to the Skyman and thank you to the Bug. Thank you. We're so proud of you and what you're doing. Keep going. If
Thank
nobody
you.
have given you your flowers, we are officially giving you your flowers right now to your podcast and all that you've done. You guys have a good synergy, good alignment. So we're clapping for you two. Congratulations.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you very much.
To come back because we know that you're going
We
to have
want you to come
some
back.
great responses and you're going to have people say, bring them back, bring them back.
We're going to have you back. I already know that because there's a lot more on that. Well, we're going to have to call it a day for this particular episode. And thank you all for being here. And thank you, especially our listeners who've sat through this and enjoyed it and connected. So in our podcast link, we'll give you information about all that we talked about, including the books, their different businesses, and all the different things that you support. So look for that soon. I see you're doing a shameless plug. I continue to go.
Which one? One's looking for a husband, one's promoting a book.
Whatever works, man. Whatever works. Okay.
Bye, guys.
So we're not going to give you your address for those who are looking for a husband, but you can contact her online, and an application will be submitted and evaluated onto the letter T. Okay.
We will be doing a background check and a credit check.
That's right. Because a credit check is real. That is real talk there.
Yeah.
So
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate
all right.
you.
Thank you very much.
Take
All
care.
right. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to
The Skyman.
and the Bug. We appreciate you being here. Join us again for another episode of Skyman and the Bug. And if you have any questions, reach out to us either on LinkedIn, Facebook, and other places that you just try to find us.
Take care.
Bye.